Why would someone like me support Bernie Sanders back in the day? A few years ago, it was 2015 or whatever. I was very supportive of Bernie Sanders. Less so today for a few reasons. But people would say, Tim, weirdly, there's a lot of people on Twitter that are attacking me, claiming I'm currently supporting Bernie. No. I've made it clear. I've supported Tulsi primarily because of her anti-war stance, and I am a big fan of Andrew Yang because he's actually willing to sit down across the aisle. Bernie Sanders went on Fox News. That's true too. But Yang sitting down with Shapiro was really, really incredible because Shapiro pushed back on Yang in areas where I think Yang might be a little weak and Shapiro might be a little stronger. But Yang is not shying away. He's saying, yeah, let's do this. Let's figure this out. And he's working on policies. He leans a little left, and that's kind of why I like him. But you'd ask, why would Tim support Bernie? Well, check this out. World Socialist website, published by the International Committee of the Fourth International. I have no idea what this is, but I saw it because it's a socialist take on Bernie Sanders, who they are now calling right-wing nationalist Bernie Sanders. I am not kidding. They view Bernie Sanders as a right-wing nationalist. You know why? Because Bernie supports the interests of America. I like that. Because Bernie was seeking to protect the industry of the middle class in the middle of this country. That's why Trump supporters that's why some of his supporters went and voted for Trump. Now, a lot of people right now are saying Bernie's a socialist and all this stuff. Like, yeah, fine. The point is, in 2015, he openly said no open borders. He did this again last week, no open borders. The socialists are mad at him because of this. I don't think Bernie is by any means a right-wing nationalist. Bernie is far left on economic policy relative to this country. Look at how they see him. So I think Bernie lost me when he endorsed Hillary, when he started pushing identity politics. I just didn't want to have anything to do with it. The fact that he had protesters pushing him around, I'm like, okay, Bernie is not strong enough for this. I still like him. I think he's a nice guy. I think his response on Fox about how much money he's made was silly. They said, you only paid 26% in taxes because of Trump's tax cut. Why didn't you just say, I'm not going to do that and pay more? And Bernie was like, well, what about Trump's taxes? No, bad answer. I still think Bernie's nice. I don't think he's a bad guy. But I do think endorsing Hillary and doing these, yeah. But let's take a look at how the left views Bernie. They've called him a fake ally in the past. They've expressed outrage that he would dare tell Antifa to stop hitting people, because he did. They're upset that he's not pro-open borders. Look at this. Bernie Sanders silent on Assange. Yeah, we'll be critical of that. Vocal in promoting nationalism. This is hilarious. At a campaign rally Saturday in Warren, Michigan, Bernie Sanders maintained his silence on the arrest of Julian Assange. To date, Sanders has not issued a single statement on Assange since the former WikiLeaks editor was dragged from the Ecuadorian embassy by British police on Thursday. The Trump administration is seeking his illegal transfer to the U.S., where he faces imprisonment, torture, or even execution. I don't think that's the case. I don't like that they're arresting him or charging him. It seems highly dubious, but the statement they put out says Assange is facing 5 years. I don't trust the U.S. I don't think he'll be executed. Come on. World Socialist website reporter Andre Damon, together with this reporter, asked Sanders as he was leaving the suburban Detroit rally venue whether he supported the arrest and imprisonment of Assange and Chelsea Manning. We received no reply. Sanders' silence demonstrates his support for the rendition of Assange. No, it doesn't. Come on, chill out. This is hilarious. Support of the rendition? In the days since his arrest, both Democrats and Republicans have erupted in celebration. That's true. For the entire ruling class, the silencing of Assange has been a top priority. Politicians and military officials have for years called for Assange to be captured and killed. Hillary Clinton was like, can we just drone this guy? Well, let's move on to where they start calling him right-wing and nationalist and all this. They go on to say that Sanders has supported Democrats' anti-Russia campaign, at the center of which is the slander that WikiLeaks collaborated with the Russian government, and the Trump election campaign. The far left is really mad at Bernie Sanders, it would seem. But they do directly call him right-wing, so I want to move on to that. We'll move past this. They say, the comparatively small turnout at Saturday's rally suggests much reduced enthusiasm from workers and young people since 2016. Only a few hundred people, mostly drawn from middle-class layers, attended the rally. It's a far cry from 2016, when thousands of people turned out to hear Sanders speak at rallies throughout the country and in the Midwest. In particular, attracted by Sanders' self-professed democratic socialism. The widespread support he received reflected deep opposition to social inequality and poverty, especially in economically devastated former industrial areas. Jump cut, because they're preachy on Assange, and I want to talk about the right-wing stuff. In reality, a major factor behind Trump's victory in these states was Sanders' own support for Hillary Clinton. Yep. Widely hated by workers for her pro-war policies and ties to Wall Street. Yup. Within the narrow framework of the American political system, this left workers with no way to register their opposition to war and inequality except to abstain or vote for the right-wing populist Trump. Absolutely. 100%. Since then, Sanders has repeatedly declared his willingness to support Trump's protectionist and trade war measures, which are closely connected politically to Trump's attack on immigration and his promotion of extreme right forces. On Saturday, Sanders called out Trump for not going far enough on this score, seeking to attack Trump from the right and outdo the president's appeal to chauvinism and xenophobia. The Vermont senator declared, the NAFTA treaty that Trump renegotiated with Mexico will still allow companies like General Motors to send our jobs to Mexico. So today, I challenge Donald Trump, for once in your life, keep your campaign promises. Go back to the drawing board on NAFTA. Do not send this treaty to Congress unless it includes strong and swift enforcement mechanisms to raise the wages of workers and prevent corporations from outsourcing American jobs to Mexico. Sanders added that corporations which move production overseas should not expect to receive federal contracts. This nationalist appeal in Warren follows his remarks in Iowa last week when Sanders declared his opposition to open borders, stating, you open the borders, there's a lot of poverty in this world, and you're gonna have people from all over the world, and I don't think that is something you can do at this point. Sanders was praised by the American neo-Nazi leader Richard Spencer for these remarks. The far left, you've outdone yourselves. This has got to be one of the kookiest and craziest articles and an example of just how absolutely insane everything is. Bernie is now far-right nationalist Bernie Sanders because he's trying to increase wages and protect American jobs. Yes, Bernie Sanders, he opposes open borders. He's being praised by American neo-Nazi leader Richard Spencer. My God, what a truly, truly epic political climate we have today. I'm sorry, Bernie. You reap what you sow. Bernie tried courting many of these people, and they don't like him. Bernie, according to the latest poll, is actually outpolling Biden. But Biden hasn't even announced yet, so check this out. In Warren, Sanders made only vague, perfunctory remarks on immigration, calling for comprehensive immigration reform and an unspecified path to citizenship. Regular old Democrat speak. His support for nationalism is bound up with his support for the AFL-CIO, the UAW, and the rest of the official trade unions, which have promoted nationalism for decades as part of their effort to sabotage workers' struggles. This is great. They're actually claiming the labor unions are trying to sabotage workers' struggles. You know what the best part about this is? The working class in this country, the people at factories, the people who they're claiming to represent aren't socialists. Who do you think the unions are made of? It is literally the workers. The socialists tend to be these college students who don't even have jobs. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to exaggerate or be hyperbolic, but there's actually a video in Portland. I think it's Portland. No, Seattle, where you have a bunch of guys in vests and hard hats protesting against socialists. So these people do not represent labor, and they're trying to claim that labor unions are sabotaging. This is like is this a parody article? I swear to God, if this is a parody article, I'm going to be upset. Did I just eat the onion? Did they just whoosh me? Are they seriously trying to claim this stuff? Because this reads like a weak parody article. Let's read on. Okay, speaking before Sanders at the rally, an ex-bureaucrat in the Teamsters Union and the UAW pledged support for Sanders from these corrupt organizations, declaring labor will be behind Bernie. Sanders, no doubt, chose Michigan as the site for these remarks because of the recently announced GM plant closures, to which the UAW and its Canadian counterpart, Unifor, have responded with anti-Mexican chauvinism. Wow. Sanders' silent support for the persecution of Assange and his promotion of nationalism arise from his pro-capitalist, pro-imperialist political orientation. These right-wing positions demonstrate that his real aim is not, as he claims, to lead a political revolution against the billionaire class, but to misdirect, disorient, and suppress opposition among workers and young people by channeling it behind the corporate-controlled pro-war Democratic Party. What are the comments on this? Egads, he sounds like an even 50-50 blend of Mussolini and Stalin. This is a parody article, isn't this? This has got to be a parody article, right? Am I reading a parody article? It seems that once rising star of Bernie is quickly fading as his own actions continue to chip away at his once glossy cover to expose the hollowness underneath it. The upcoming election, should Bernie win the Democratic nomination, will only further reveal to the people that the emperor indeed has no clothes. The SEP must capitalize on this and continue to educate workers on the true principles of socialism and mobilize them accordingly. I will say this. Assuming this isn't a parody website, which I really don't think it is. I think this is genuinely serious. And is there an about section on this? Let's go to the front page of their site. Like, I'm pretty sure this is legit because I saw it being shared by socialists who are very seriously sharing this. And they're very much pro-WikiLeaks, which I respect, for sure. But I wonder if there's an about section on this website. 1998 to 2019, socialist website, all about the WSW. It's published by the International Committee of the Fourth International, the leadership of the World Socialist Movement, the Fourth International, founded by Leon Trotsky in 1938. I think this is real. Bernie Sanders is a right-wing imperialist nationalist. Okay. Well, either way, it's a funny story. Stick around. I got one more video coming up in a few minutes. I will see you then.